everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian. What's up, guys?
Drugs.
What? Dude, what happened to you? When did you become a cool kid?
Excuse me? Wait a minute. What? You have some more to tell?
Several different kinds of drugs.
Oh, name a few.
The good ones.
You already named them?
Oh, I see.
I guess
For those of you who don't know,
I did.
Sean went on a
Tangent.
Well, we were, to be fair, don't just blame me. We were
and,
talking about other things too.
I'm sorry, who's the paramedic here?
Yeah, no, we were talking about drugs, but I'm just saying that we got on this topic for people were asking questions.
Yes,
there was a reason.
I ask specific questions about something that's going on right now.
Very specific drugs in question here, but
right.
potentially
Not
people that might be taking said drugs.
Not anything happening to any of us, mind you.
Dylan, you have something you want to complain about?
Winners don't do drugs, bitch.
All right,
Wow.
see, that's are you a winner though?
No.
Oh, damn. Damn.
I'm just kidding. I'm a cool guy.
All right, so back
Not
to it. Though.
even
We watched a
once.
movie. Dylan, what movie did we watch today?
Whambo.
Wow, we watched Rambo.
First blood.
The widow Whambo.
You know, TRD Poe.
The Whambo. And we
Yeah,
the
the
Whambo.
All right, okay, that's enough.
What we see with Whambo?
Stop.
Anyways, before we talk about that, though, do you guys have anything you want
More
to talk about?
drugs.
No.
I feel
That's
like
not that type of podcast.
It's just a joke.
You have something you want to say, though, about it?
Yuck.
Shut up.
No.
All right, and there it is, everybody.
Yeah. What I'm going to say up front right now is I've had a pretty good week, all things considered.
Huh.
I have had mixed days where I didn't get any sleep because I was up late working, but then there was other days where I got a whole bunch of extra sleep, and I kind of made up for it, so it kind of balanced out.
Balances out.
Exactly. So I'm doing pretty good.
I wish I could have one of those days.
Yeah. When's the next day you can have like that?
Sunday.
Nuh-uh.
Yes. I'm working every
crap.
day this week.
Frick, buddy.
Nice. Well,
Get that coin, my guy.
Yeah, make them munners.
Grab that bag.
Yeah,
What else
in the
is
words
new?
of DJ Khaled, man, the first key to success.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
No. The first key to success is secure the bag.
Is that right?
I'm not even joking. Liar! All right, let's go.
What about you, Ethan? You got some news, don't you?
I mean, my paperwork finally went through, so now it says I'm a paramedic online.
Heck yeah.
Which is neat, big neat.
So what is the title now for that? Is it, or is it
I'm
just
pretty sure my post nominal is still NREMT, but now I guess it's NRP, which is National Registered Paramedic. I don't know.
Ooh.
But I do know that online
Can it be
says,
NRPEMT?
right, NREMPT. Let's go.
Element of PQRX,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, dude, give me all the post nominals. So, but I know on the website now it says Ethan and then it says paramedic. So, I mean, that's,
That's legit,
that's
buddy.
pretty cool. Yeah, it feels big good.
Once you get that gold patch, though, so when
and
everything gets solidified.
My dad already has one of the old ones that we call a disco ball patches because they're like glittery.
Holographic.
No, they're not, but they're like glittery and they like are all like they got rid of them, but like they're so.
Why the fuck would they get rid of them?
Because they don't look that good, but they're really glittery and funny.
But they sound amazing.
They do. I'll show you a comparison of which one is which, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I already have a couple.
When you gonna get that badge, though?
A badge? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think I get like a badge until I get like my Class A uniform.
Yeah.
So I maybe I'm really banking for the fact that whenever I get a new name tag,
Yeah.
because I have to get another one now because my one says Ethan and it says EMT.
Exactly.
But I have to get another one that says paramedic. And I'm really hoping that they do what they always do, even to the easiest of names, i.e. mine, Ethan,
Yeah.
ETHAN, and they spell it wrong. And they do ETAHN again, ETAN.
Eton.
Because then they're like, we're gonna trash this and give you a new one. And I'm like, but can I keep it?
But can I
So then I
have
get
it?
another shiny gold name badge to put in my backpack.
Yes.
This one says paramedic. I'm hoping they do it wrong again.
Yeah.
Or maybe I might just ask my department if I can just pay for a second one to have one for myself. But badges, I don't think I get badges until I get my Class A uniform.
Man,
Which is
you
like
gotta ask for one of them.
Well, I mean, the thing with the Class A uniform is everyone's supposed to have one, but you only do it for like
Special, yeah.
special occasions and mostly funerals. That's really the
Yeah.
only. If I have to be in uniform for a funeral, that's the only time I wear that uniform.
Yeah.
Really.
What kind of other special occasions would you wear that uniform for?
I mean, probably some big
Inauguration or
probably some
something.
big military event that they're having, or
Yeah.
like a military ball or something that medics are going to.
Cool.
Anything that's like big and formal that a medic would happen to be going to. So if
Yeah.
they invite the department to it, then bada bing, bada boom, we're
Here
all
I
here
am.
and looking good.
Spiffy up.
So yeah, I don't really know because I've never had to use the uniform yet. So I mean, I'm part time. I don't get one. I don't think off the bat. So like,
Yeah.
if I go full time, I'll get one. So Yeah.
Yeah. A little
Pretty-
look into my week. I have been doing this new we have like this thing we're shooting, and I tried something a little differently with how I was shooting it, but it was easier whenever we were recording it, but it's not easier on the back end when I'm editing it. And now I'm having to sit down and like kind of tediously scrub through and like cut different camera angles all together. And it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just ever so slightly tedious enough to where I'm like, hey, it's going to take like an hour or two to sit down and do it. And I kind of I've been putting it off. But it's now either I do it tonight or do it tomorrow. It has to debut Wednesday night. And so I'm like, okay, so I better hurry up and get that cracking on. So that's what I have planned for the next probably afternoon tomorrow is have that all finished up because I need to get it working on.
Oh, I've been working nights. Been working nights for long enough.
You've been working nights a lot.
I've been working. I mean, if I only do this shift that I'm on, it's nights right now, and it's gonna swap the days next month. Problem is, I've been on nights for basically 2 months now, with like a week's worth of days in the middle. That I'm actually nervous to go back to days, even though I really don't want to be on nights anymore. Like I just don't want. I don't want it anymore.
Of course, yeah. I mean.
So
it's fun for a time.
In
but
October, when we swap the days, I'm like, yeah, but also I'm like, maybe a little bit nervous. Might end up sleeping in or something by accident. That would suck. So
October is the month of murder.
Hell yeah.
Do you have something to tell me that I don't know about?
Not yet.
Well, starting with the drugs and finishing with the murder.
Where's the rock and roll come into play?
Well, Dylan, where does the rock and roll come in?
I'm sorry, you left out sex?
No, that's always a given.
Because we both know that that's not happening right now for at the table.
I work too much for all that.
Right, yeah, that's. Sorry, man. That's just not it.
It's fucking whatever.
This is
on the cards right now.
My time will come.
Yeah, I mean exactly, for sure. So let's describe Rambo in 3 words.
Ooh,
Dylan,
let it go.
let it go. That's a good one. That's a really deep one. I don't really know. There's a knife named after the movie, so I kind of want to just say like Rambo knife cool.
Yeah,
Rambo cool.
Rambo
guy.
knife cool.
What did he say? They drew first blood.
Yeah, they drew first blood. They drew first blood, sir.
They
drew first blood. It's pretty spoopy.
Yeah.
What about that asshole though? Huh? He's like, I
Oh
just
my
wanted
God.
food, and he's like,
King
I'm gonna
shit
kick him
cop.
out. Yeah, freaking nerdlinger.
I love like you watch the movie all the way through to the end and see this fight between this sheriff and Rambo, and like you rewind it all the way back to the beginning, and you see this one moment where the asshole cop drives up and tells him like, "Hey buddy, what you got? What you doing over here?" You know, like pestering him.
Visiting someone here?
Exactly, and it's like he's just walking through, and I get you probably think he's a bad character and stuff.
He just want to eat.
He's just doing.
He
his
even
thing.
said it to the important guy. He was like, I just wanted something to eat, but that asshole cop
Yeah,
wouldn't let me.
yeah.
What a nerdlinger, you know?
Exactly, but it's funny how
And
like,
also, he wanted to stay in the quiet town. Whenever he said it's a boring town, he was like, boring, huh? He was looking for boring, and you were like, no, I'm going to kick him out. I'm going to arrest him.
yeah.
Dick.
And then and look where we are now.
Now you're dead.
All these people are hurt. You got shot in the dick. Look at that.
Probably not going to walk again
Yep.
anytime soon.
It is what it is.
Good.
Yeah.
My
Blow
only
up your whole fucking town.
my only real
Yeah.
qualm was that so early in the movie, John Rambo was named, so it really threw it off because whenever it said first blood, I was like, I don't know what the hell that means. So he's like, go over here. I'm like, I know this guy. And then they're like, it's me. My name's John Rambo. I'm like, dang it, it's a Rambo movie, isn't it? Okay. But like, for instance, the previous movie we watched, callback to literally last week, the last movie we watched, Princess Mononoke, I didn't know what movie that was for like 10 minutes until they said like, look out for Princess Mononoke. And I was like, is that what this movie is? Or are they just
that was going on?
like an
here?
Easter egg? I kind of prefer that because then it's like I've gone into almost every movie not even knowing the name of the movie. And I'm like, what are we watching? Don't answer that question. What are we watching? Right? Like, and even movies that I do know the name of, that's all I know. Like, Cool Neat Hand Luke. All I knew about Neat Hand Luke was the name of the movie, and he had one neat hand. He had a cool hand. That's all I knew. So whenever the movie goes on, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Why is this movie called Cool Hand Luke? Because he has a cool hand that's cool. And Luke. So I was pretty sad that so quickly in the movie, I was like, oh, it's a Rambo movie. And he's not going to start me off on like Rambo 2 or something because that's weird. That's totally against Dylan's character. Dylan's like, no, if we can start from the beginning, let's start from the beginning. There's no reason to start anywhere else. So like, as soon as you said Rambo, like, this must be the first Rambo movie. Like,
but it did a really good job setting up like what your expectation was for it. He's kind of roaming around, doing his thing, and he meets what I'm assuming is the family of one of his former
that's what that was for sure.
companions whenever he was in the military. And then of course he gets the word that like cancer got him.
Yeah, that
like,
homie's
man, crap.
Didn't make it.
And then like that, it like just from the get go kind of weighs hard. You can tell he's just kind of bummed out.
He
You're
caught
like,
the
man,
big sad, yeah.
yeah,
You can assume he looked for everyone else
yeah,
in his team.
kind of rekindling
At the end of the
friendships.
movie, he mentions that one of them died, and toward the middle actually, when he's on the radio, he mentioned that one of them died in Nam, like toward the end or whatever. So like there wasn't that many left for him to look for, and the one he looked for got killed by cancer. So he was the last one of his squad, which was really sad.
Man, this movie made me feel something that I wasn't expecting. I told Dylan after the movie was over, I was like, I thought this was gonna be like a what was it?
Stop like cheesy action movie.
Not like a cheesy action movie. I just thought it was gonna be like a classic 80s action movie where he's like in the jungle doing something and like
where
fighting.
He's just senseless killing, which actually really interestingly for what people have described Rambo to me, which again there's very little that I know about any of it anyway. Rambo seemed like a lot more of a senseless killing movie because he's just like a badass killing everybody. For him to have not intentionally killed anybody.
Yeah,
in that movie.
I'm assuming
if you really look at the numbers, he directly didn't kill anybody. Guy fell out of the plane is the only death in the movie. Everyone else, he shot, injured, and I'll be honest, medically speaking, some of them should have died. The dude who got all the spikes in his legs, you're going to bleed out from that dude. At the very least, you're not having legs anymore. Like, that's just too much bleeding. But maybe you can live. So, like, he didn't kill anybody. So I was very interested that, like, you could count the number of people who died, which was 1, and the number of people who he directly injured, which was not very many.
Yeah.
Which was very, I guess maybe the other movies have more senseless killing them because, very against what I hear about the Rambo.
I'm assuming that the image I have in my head of Rambo is the later ones. Because the one I'm thinking of is like
definitely
shirtless Sylvester Stallone, red bandana, big gun.
Definitely like an M60 wrapped in the bullets. Like
exactly. That's my vision of it. And again, with the Rambo knife or Bowie knife or whatever.
Yeah.
But this movie wasn't that.
Oh no.
It was, I think, better in my opinion.
It was a setup. It was a all a ploy.
But wow.
It was rigged from the start.
Yeah, I can't say that I disliked it for that, but it was the only thing that, like, going into this movie, knowing it was a Rambo movie, I was like, okay, cool. So the only thing I know about Rambo movies, because I just try to get it out the way off the start, like, okay, what do I know? If I'm going to have to know something preconceived, let me see if I can get it on the table so that way I can try and avoid it, right? The only thing I could really think of was, like, senseless killing, mad lad, just, like, who's unkillable.
Yeah.
So learning more about it was actually pretty interesting because I was like, not in a bad way, but it was definitely subverted expectations because they sound, like I said, more senseless killing, more cheesy action movie death. And this was like, there was a story. He didn't want to kill anybody. They drew first blood, sir, kind of stuff. I think it was really good. I liked the story
Respectful,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I liked the story too, even though he did also snap with PTSD, so he just freaking destroyed an entire town. Yeah. It was very interesting that he could be both a good guy and also snap so much and just destroy everything.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, in his defense, he was having a freaking sheriff's officer that was like...
Yeah, no, I'm
like
not saying that he wasn't completely unprovoked. It's just interesting that he can, like, be doing things that are, like, complete, like, that, like, a normal person who hasn't snapped would do, and then also, like, let's blow up this building while we're at it, too.
Exactly,
like, you're covering your ass a whole lot here because you're used to war. So
exactly.
It's, like, it's interesting that he can, like...
You have a man that's bringing out the worst in you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying your best to be real good, and he's making it real hard for you.
Yeah, so I was like, it's interesting that you could see how he again, snapped, like, mentally, and then he, at the very end, whenever he snapped back to reality, and he was like, they're all dead, dude, and just like freaked out. It was really,
I'm gonna ask the question that Sean always asks. Who's your favorite character? Because I know mine off the bat. I mean, obviously, I know we all love the main character, Rambo.
I mean, obviously, this is one of the few movies where I might actually give myself the main character and say it was Rambo. Because it's kind of about him. But I feel like the Green Beret guy was really badass.
The Colonel.
Colonel's really badass. But I also kind of liked Red Hair. He was the only officer that wasn't
Mitch.
A dick. Yeah, every time they said, by the way, fun fact, every time they said Mitch, dude, every time, I thought they were just calling him a bitch. Yeah. All the time they were like, bitch, get over here. And I'm like, oh, gosh, stop insulting the poor lad.
I'm just sad that after he got stabbed in the leg, he was out of commission.
Yeah.
He didn't show back up after that.
That's pretty good, though, considering the fact that, like, he was the only cool one.
Yeah, you're right.
But, like, I kind of liked him. So I'm kind of torn. I liked Colonel, and I liked the not dick Mitch.
My favorite character was Colonel Chaplin. Whenever that boy came into, you want to talk about?
If you're gonna send that many people, bring plenty of body bags.
You want to talk about a guy who knows his team well? He's like, buddy, this is just the way it is, and that this arrogant.
I'm not trying to save Rambo. I'm trying to save you.
Exactly. This arrogant small town cop is over here like trying to make himself look big and tough.
He's trying to be a big named cop.
He's like, I get you. I get where you're coming from, but stop. And you're like, ooh, hits a little different
you're out of your fucking league, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty mad. I also like, just to hop to a random different scene, that as soon as they find him and they're like, he's in one of the like the military cruiser vans.
Yeah.
They figure out which one he's in, right? So instead of trying to catch him, they just drive up and just start trying to murk his ass. Just start shooting at him.
You see a couple of hands come out with revolvers. Like,
they're like,
oh my God.
I know that they're not, but it looks like they're just wildly shooting into the air. Yeah. So we all made the joke, a bunch of banditos over here just like shooting in the air wildly.
I believe that.
Jesus.
I believe
like freaking shooting randomly for no reason.
The phrase I said was, are they sheriff's officers or banditos?
Yeah, right.
And then
and
Ethan lost it.
Dude, I was laughing so hard. They're just like shooting randomly, like not
they didn't even tell him to pull over. They just started shooting.
They just like windows down, hands out, revolvers.
These are the hired thugs. These aren't the cops. They were like, just finish the job.
The kill squad.
Exactly.
Right. And then of course they didn't succeed. I like how he bumps them into a car and the car just detonates.
That was the only thing that like I had
the most action movie thing ever.
I had to suspend my disbelief.
Is it done?
He rear ends the back of a car and both the police officer, like the squad car, and the civilians' random whatever it was Buick.
I think that was
car
also a police car.
Exploded like in spectacular fashion,
as if it was actually just a civilian's car with a trunk full of Molotovs. It just detonated.
It was just clad.
It detonated so fast that it's almost as if it detonated before they even hit it.
It was a trap Rambo had said earlier.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But
I love how he also went from normal kind of guy,
John Deere to John Rambo,
to being in the wilderness and like reverting back to his old ways.
Oh yeah,
where he was just like looked like a freaking woodsman, caveman guy.
I like his line where he's like, "You own the city, but I own these things. I could have killed all of them.
In town, you're the law. Out here, it's me."
Yeah, man, that was such a good line in the moment, and I feel like I didn't appreciate it when it happened. That was the only time I asked to rewind it.
Yeah,
when he was like,
whenever
I could have killed all of them, but I didn't.
Taking his van, I had to pause it to make more tea whenever he was bringing his van into the style. I was like, he's going to destroy these cars. But the thing is, fun fact, they didn't have a trunk full of Molotovs and didn't explode.
No. And he runs over him like a freaking monster truck.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So that was neat.
I just love how they scatter like ants, though, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they have a whole barricade. I mean, you're right. We have a whole barricade, and like they're sitting there ready, like about to get this thing done.
The dude's not checking up, and you have to know what's coming. So you're like, you know what? Let's just get the frig out the way. Like,
and he ramps off 2 squad cars.
All right.
Yeah, and of course,
check up a little bit, you can be like, all right, hold your ground, boys. But if he doesn't at all, just get the frick out the way. He's not going to stop.
It's a game of chicken at that point.
Right, yeah. And your cars are all in park.
Exactly.
So, I mean.
I just love how that military van did not flinch.
Yeah.
Runs over all of it and then just keeps trucking. Right. And of course, like in true Star Wars fashion, they're just shooting randomly in the air. Like,
also, fun fact, Star Wars aim. Bad. The first one, I'll give it to him because it was bad aim, but he was in a helicopter that wasn't holding still. The rest of the shots, can't give it to him. What the hell are these stormtroopers doing, man? Who trained them? Like, man, what? So that was a bit much.
It was something else.
Also, I like how there are, in the movie, I timed it, of course, as I do. I didn't time it as well as I timed the Goonies guy and his inhaler. That was probably my funniest thing I ever timed.
My inhaler.
Oh, God, my allergies are acting up.
I can't see anything without my inhaler.
That's not how this works. So
my glasses.
My glasses. So he spent 10-minute increments not speaking, and then he would speak for like 2 minutes or less in the movie. And then toward the end of the movie,
they hit though.
When he spoke. Yeah, whenever he got back to like the wilderness and stopped speaking, it was like 17-minute increments of him not speaking with like less than 2 minutes of him speaking again. The dude just didn't like. You could probably count on one hand the amount of words he said in the movie, the amount of lines he had.
Can we talk? I know this is probably jumping around a little too much, but can we talk about that monologue?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I cried. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. There was a part where I think Sylvester Stallone did such a good job
Yeah.
conveying the emotion of like panic and that like PTSD feeling that like in like halfway through him talking about it, I was just so overwhelmed with what he was saying and how real it felt that I was like, ouch.
I like to imagine,
my heart.
I mean, I'm sure they did, but I like to imagine they consulted people for that.
Oh, of course.
And the reason why is just because, like, I feel like first off they want to do it justice, and like this movie is about that. I guess the underlying stories they want to do it right.
That's the whole point.
And also
of the movie.
we already know that Vietnam was like riddled with PTSD because of how bad it was. I mean, like the lines he was saying were probably true things that happened to real soldiers. You know,
exactly.
like honestly. So, but like knowing a couple people, as I mentioned of the movie as well, like as medics and as like police officers, and also from the military, because a lot of the medics I know were in the military who've talked about their PTSD before and how they had to recover from it. I felt like it did it justice from what I hear. Because I've never seen someone have like hardcore PTSD like that, you know? Because most of the people I talk to have had to recover from it. But like a lot of the medics I know who are ex-military who saw a lot of crazy shit, they talked about recovering from it. And I'm just saying, it sounded like that looked, you know? And so it was like, I think that was very well done from someone who doesn't have that much perspective, but has more than maybe some do on it. I still think it was very like a well done scene of him like,
one thing that always gets me, I've noticed in my personal life, maybe not so much in like movies, but like when there's someone I look up to, a lot of times it's been male figures in my life. A lot of times, if there's a guy, a boss I respect, my father, for instance, there's a couple people,
toughest looking motherfucker you could think of,
or just like people I respect in some regard, whether their work ethic or what they believe in or like how they've influenced me or whatever. And whenever they hit a point where they're emotionally low and they feel like they are going to cry or they do cry or they confide in me in some regard, it hits me on a whole new emotional level. And the Colonel character was that in this movie for me to some degree, because I think we've already established in this movie so far that he is really rooting for Rambo. Yeah. And he is that like the only person he has left.
Came to get his boy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I already liked the character because he was already kind of like, you know, cocky, but in a good way, obviously, because he knows who the hell he's dealing with. Mm-hmm. But then it's also like when he gets to this point where Rambo's at his wit's end, breaks down, and gives this whole monologue that like feels kind of scatterbrained, but whenever he says it all makes sense, and it makes you realize why he is the way he is right now and why he is sad. And he cries, and then there's a shot where Rambo's still just talking, and the shot is just of the Colonel's face, and he starts to like tear up a little bit, and I'm like, shit, man, I'm starting to get sad over here. Like, and then of course
he was like the leader of the squad. And he also
Mm-hmm.
just recently realized that all the members of the squad except Rambo are dead.
Exactly.
So
because again, he's off doing his thing, like he said in the movie as well. He's like, I'm over here shining a seat with my butt. You know, I'm over in DC now, you know, playing the big boy game or whatever. And he's like, I don't like it or whatever. But like it just seeing that moment where, I don't know, he breaks down and is holding his hand and just kind of cries.
I mean, like imagine like if like those are the only people that you have that understand you and they're dead, you know?
Yeah,
because it's like that's what it really comes down to is like doing something that was intense with someone, even to a smaller degree. I'm not talking about PTSD, but even to a smaller degree, where like doing something to people like what I did whenever I did that crazy trip I did, and then coming back and no one understanding what you did and how different you are. Because like the thing with me is like I traveled and I grew up a lot. I was totally different whenever I came back after traveling. No one understood that. So I came back, wanted to go by a different name, was totally different, and nobody understood it. And that was really hard. Now I can imagine taking that, again, very small in comparison, and then going to like war with it.
Yeah.
The only people who understand what you saw, because they saw it too, are your teammates.
Yeah.
And they were also your close friends. All your friends are dead. It really, when you put it down to like the basis thing, like, freaking rough, buddy.
It's like it's like that story. This is going to be probably a little gruesome for those of you who
we're talking about Rambo. It's fine.
We're talking about Rambo, but
Rambo, we'll just put explicit on the
this. Is the part. This is the part that hit me, that like made me realize just how real this was, and again because of the way he said it and the way he conveyed it he was talking about how his friend was talking about this red convertible or whatever, and it's kind of at the beginning of the story, and it kind of doesn't make any sense. That's why I kind of feel scatterbrained. And he's talking about why he's in Vietnam, and he's like a kid, want to get shoe shining, whatever. And apparently there was a bomb or something. Like I said, it's a little hard to follow.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about like getting bruised or something, right? It's not like he said. I thought I heard said the word like getting bruised, and like he tried opening the like. It sounded like to me he was opening up beer and it exploded somehow.
That it was
unless I heard the
a
word
kid
wrong.
Came up to him with a shoe shine box.
Oh, okay.
Asking him if they wanted their shoes shined.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he said no. And while his teammate's talking to the kid, he goes to grab a couple of beers.
That was it. The brew. Okay, there you go. So
yeah, but basically what happens is they open the box and it's a explosive or whatever, and of course this is where the story kind of comes together, and it starts to break your heart because he's crying at this point, and he's like, I'm just trying to console my friend by telling him, like, we're going.
It's a bomb. It blows him up. He's talking about there's pieces of my friend everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go back to driving my convertible. And he's like, I don't know how to get you home. I can't find his legs.
He's like, I can't. And he anchors himself in that phrase. Like, I'm sitting there, I can't find his legs. And I can't find his legs. And there's nothing I can do. And it's like,
yeah,
ouch, dude.
Yeah.
Frick. And you're like, man, that just.
Well, heck me, am I right?
Yeah, you're just like, I mean, because I have no idea what he's feeling at that moment.
Exactly.
But you try and put yourself in that situation, you're like, wow.
Yeah, and you can't even, right? That's why I do like this one, kind of like with Good Morning Vietnam, where it's like another thing where he's friends with this person. That person's like, no, you're evil. Like, I see you being evil. They both see each other as enemies. And it was like, how like that was a really deep, like moving thing to hear about what this kind of was. And this is a separate thing that has just as much emotion to it, where it's like, I like both of these movies because they like, in Good Morning Vietnam, it's literally a comedy that you get this serious undertone to.
Yes.
This one's just literally just an action movie. You get that serious undertone to. I think I like it that when they can kind of lace things
that
like that, a serious message. You know,
that moment where he was like, I was with a team and we were like specialized, and I was trusted with working $1 million worth of equipment. He's like, and I can't even hold a job.
I can't even hold a job.
Like, dang, dude, like it just. I can't imagine, and it just it hurts, breaks my heart.
Like again, it's a feeling that I like, feel like just makes sense to me. Like I don't understand. I couldn't tell you how I understand it, but it just makes sense to me. Where he's talking about how like over there, like it was an understood rule. Like I had your back, you had mine. Like we were a team. We were all friends. We had each other's back. Out here, nobody has my back. Nobody likes me.
Yeah.
People in the airport call me a baby killer as soon as I came back home. Like everybody hates me.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a good civilian. He literally says in the movie. It's like this dude has been like freaking hurt.
Yeah,
and to be fair, like that's what everyone was doing whenever they
Yeah.
got back, as far as I'm aware. It was just
From Vietnam, yeah.
So it's like freaking, which I think the thing with this movie is like it was released right after Vietnam. So I think that they were really heavy-handed with this because they were trying to make a point to everyone who was being rude to Vietnam veterans, I think.
It was, I think
it was like right after it. Like it ended in like 75 and this movie came out like 82 or something, right?
Less than 10 years,
Yeah. And so it was like, hey, like these people, are messed up,
Yeah.
So it's
That's crazy.
it was very interesting. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. I'm kind of excited to look at the
Like I said,
Rambo movies.
I
see all
went-
the action in those.
I went into it thinking it was going to be like a totally different movie.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once I got like halfway through this movie, I was like, oh, I know where this is
Oh
going.
no.
I know where
He's
this is
going to be a
going.
deep boy, isn't
Oh
it?
god.
Yeah. Man, it's so good.
But it was interesting. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
But change of pace. Totally still want to watch Fight Club. So you need to
We
go
need to get our hands on
you
that
need to go to
one, I guess.
Walmart, Dylan, and
Number
buy a Fight
one,
Club because
Sean.
that has been on my number one.
Talking about the club.
We need to actually look up the hours for Walmart because I'm pretty sure they're staying open later than 8 now.
Really?
Well,
Yes.
guess what, buddy? I know it's once again, as always, 2:00 in the morning. But let's go to Walmart and buy Fight Club.
If they have it, I'm sure.
I mean, even if they don't, we can find it somewhere else.
Also, another little tidbit now that we're kind of wrapping up on this portion of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just to kind of date the podcast again, but it's all cool. Tonight was the 21st night of September.
Do you remember?
Do you remember the 21st night of September?
I actually don't know what this means. I'll be honest.
It's Earth, Wind, and Fire, Sean.
It's the first line of the song. It's, do you remember?
Oh, okay. I do the first
the
line of that song.
21st night of September.
I just know, do you remember? That's the
Yeah.
only line of that song.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Do you remember? And the rest of it usually
do you?
no, it's like after the do you remember, the rest of it gets blurred by whatever amusing thing is happening in the movie or scene or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
Yeah.
you remember? Well, Jenny, and the rest of it's just gone. Right? It's like, so I don't know what they're remembering. I just know that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be remembering something.
Okay. So what? like, okay, I know we keep talking about Fight Club. I still want to watch Indiana Jones. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah,
Indiana Jones. I think we should also still watch the
still need to get
old
those.
Back to the Future.
Yes.
I think that if we moved on to even though I've seen them before, if we moved on to Back to the Future, I would be pleased.
Okay.
If that was instead of Fight Club. But I still think Fight Club is another one that my friend said that he like put up there kind of with Fight Club. I think his Idiocracy, he said, was I think that's what that was. He said that was another good movie that he'd want me to watch. But
would you guys want to do a 3-episode like a batch of Back to the Future, or would you rather do one big one?
I think we could do one if we have enough like time on our like overall thing. I think we could and should just do one bit. I think it would just be more apt. I don't think that 3 back to back. It would be weird because the movies have a to be continued and to be concluded, and they have like weird cliffhangeriness to them, and I just feel like they're better to just go through them and talk about the whole thing. I could be totally wrong, and it could like not work that well and be really bouncy because we do bounce everywhere a lot. So I could be wrong, but I feel like
it's gonna be a little all over the place.
But I feel like it still might just be easier to do the whole.
Then how about this? Just so we can talk about this on the air, we should.
I just hit myself with the wire.
We should make a note, like we should have like a little Google Doc or something, and have each one of the movies.
Okay.
Like a little sub, what you call it, like a subheader. Yeah. And then we should like write notes.
I think that it's okay for us to bounce around in individual movies during the podcast, but not the whole thing.
It's structured.
Yeah. Because what I'm thinking is
we can bounce around in movie number 1, then move on to 2 when we're done.
What I'm thinking is we can let people know that this is going to be an hour-long episode. I would like to do an hour-long. Anything over that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
For at least our sake. We may have to make some smaller episodes after that. I think
we've been doing kind of smaller anyway lately.
Exactly, but saying that is like have our like list in front of us for each one of us, so we can kind of talk about each one, so that we can give at least 20 minutes per movie. So that way I feel like I'm giving it its fair shot.
I feel like we could do it still. I think it'll be possibly
okay. Sounds like fun.
So and then we can do all the future, but we have to have one night that's like super available. Because they're not short movies, and there's 3 of them. So
well, that's what I was saying. We make a doc about it, so we can.
Well, I'm saying, what I'm saying is like to actually watch the movies. Yeah, like have enough time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so on the thing we can have like our notes about it, so we can each one of us have our own separate ideas about it, so that we're not. Because it's going to be probably a day or 2 worth of
I was saying because we're going to have to sit down for quite some time and do it all, which I'm okay with. Make the popcorn, let's go. But like also, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. I don't think I've told you guys, and I haven't really affirmed you guys in this.
Secrets don't make
You're
friends.
changing your name to Mortimer.
I'm not Mortimer. Wait, go ahead and spoil the fun, guy.
Shit.
Bad news, guys. He's changing his name to Mortimer.
Sorry, Mortimer.
To kind of bring it back.
Secret's safe with us.
Bring it back to the movie whenever there's like a point where they're just like shooting randomly in the forest or whatever.
Oh man, okay, yeah.
And Sean's like, shoot him, Cletus.
That was the scene I wanted to mention. Yeah, there was this like hunter boy who looked like he was no older than 15, and so Rambo just like jumps off, and the guy's like, he throws the gun away and just walks away like, you never saw me. So the kid runs back. He's like, oh my God, Pa! There's a guy in the woods over there. He's like, I see him. And then this one dude in the back just starts shooting in the air for no reason.
Yeah.
Get him, Cletus. Like, I see him. Blam, blam, blam. In the air for no reason. And then I just shouted, get him, Cletus.
They're not even with the fucking soldiers looking for him.
Exactly, just random hunters. And they were actually named Hunter.
Soldiers because they were fucking weekend
they were stormtroopers,
as they were described.
But like, so I started, get him, Cletus, and of course, then we just gave them southern names, and we called one of them Boudreaux, one of them Thibodeau, and the other one was Cletus. In the movie, they were actually named Hunter 1, Hunter 2, and Hunter 3. But still,
I like to think down deep in my heart that one guy,
Boudreaux, Thibodeau, and Cletus. Yeah,
he was shooting in the air.
Those were those were gator hunters over there.
Another credits title I thought was pretty funny were Man in the Roads.
Right.
Man in the Street, yeah.
And it gave me an idea for a band name.
Yeah.
The Men in the Street.
Men in the Street.
And either that or Men in the Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Boys on Sidewalk.
Yeah,
Sidewalk Boys.
Sidewalk Boys, album number 3, Street Urchins.
Street Rats.
Yeah, Street Rats from Sidewalk Boys.
Okay, what I was going to say before we got off on the Cletus tangent.
Yeah, Cletus, blah, 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 in the air. That was a
the ever increasing like list of things that I feel like Ethan's gonna shout from now on is like help I'm being
help I'm being repressed, and also get him, Cletus.
It was another one you said too.
Help I'm being compressed from that meme.
Yeah, I think you also said Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh yeah, I shouted. Yeah, I did that whenever we were watching that movie. But like, I think the help I'm being repressed is my favorite. But also,
anyways,
get him, Cletus.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that in other movies.
I want a shirt with that on it.
Oh,
yeah, a guy holding a gun in the
air. We can make this. I know a website. I know. Yeah,
I know.
Actually, I don't even want a shirt. I want a pin, like a lapel pin for my jacket that says "Get him, Cletus" with a guy shooting a gun.
Okay, I'll work on that.
I'll get my people to contact you. People.
Anyways, what I was trying to get at this
sell that. We should sell that as merch.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what's the surprise?
It's not really surprised. What I was going to tell you was I haven't said this to you guys. We sit down, we watch movies, we do the podcast. I edit it. Usually,
I go the freak to sleep because it's always 3 a.m.
Exactly, and we don't ever really like talk about. We don't talk about things on the back end a lot, and I just want to let you know that I've been getting like a couple of text messages here and there, and I've been getting some like reinforcement from some people that are saying they really
have feedback.
I know exactly that they enjoy the show.
Oh man, I was getting used to being my own critic.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting used to being that, but.
Yes, so I
love how everyone respects the wow and just pauses for a second. Like, no, I won't speak over it. Yes.
Anyways, so I want to let you guys know that there are people out there that are enjoying the show, and it's not just us throwing this into the void. There's actually a few of the people that they were talking with. One of them said that they like to listen to it on the ride to work. And I was like, that's actually really cool. And the other person
that's what you do at podcasts, right?
Exactly. And the other person was saying they like to listen to it whenever they're like cleaning their house and stuff.
I like to listen while playing League of Legends. that's when I listen to audiobooks and podcasts, which, by the way, I just got the complete works of, not a sponsor, but I just got the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft on audible.com.
Sponsored.
And,
by the old ones?
No, by the old gods or by audible.com. Yeah. But on Audible, I just got the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft.
I'll tell you what.
For free.
Cthulhu is hard to get a hold of whenever you start talking about sponsorships.
But it is sponsored by Yog-Sothoth.
Yes. Right, by Yog-Sothoth. So
one of the lesser knowns, but still just as important.
So I got the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft for free because I just had like a credit that I got for making the account, which was neat. Turns out there's more works than I thought.
Yeah.
So the audiobook, I made him guess. He guessed it's got to be at least a day's worth, which is 24 hours. How many hours do you think the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft is on Audible?
Wait, the complete works?
The complete works. It's the book that he has, dude. That big like Bible-sized book that he has. I mean, it is. It's Bible-sized. Maybe a little bit bigger. That he has complete works of H.P. Lovecraft on. He says a day's worth, 24 hours. I'm not going to tell you if that's a lot or a little.
56 hours.
51. 51 hours worth of just unbridled H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes. I'm just horror.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Madman's knowledge.
I've been listening to it. First off, there's so many big words. It's hard to focus on me getting my CS in League of Legends while they're talking about the unbridled darkness. Swirl it. It's insane. It's
Sounds like you need a more wrinkly brain. Sean.
Right, yeah, I knew. I'm trying to get my brain wrinklier. That's why I'm listening to the complete
smooth-ass brain over here.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, mine looks like a fucking jelly bean.
On that note, guys.
Anyways. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we're getting some feedback from people, especially in our lives and all that kind of stuff.
Cletus!
No, don't. Hold off. Put the gun down, Cletus.
Wow.
Damn it, Cletus! Get out!
Damn it, Cletus. I want that on a shirt, too.
Yeah. Anyways, if you are looking for ways that you can get in touch, we have all of our links on our link tree and stuff. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere we have podcast stuff at. You can find it there. In the link tree, we have a lot of our social medias and stuff like that. Until next week. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
See you later, I guess.
Until next time.
That's right, I can see you.
What?
Bye-bye.
Shoot him, Cletus! Get him, Cletus! I want shirt. I want to get him, Cletus.